We have all heard about and, unfortunately in many instances experienced, the impacts of climate change. Rising sea levels, record-setting temperatures, and more intense natural disasters becoming increasingly common, and so are the ramifications. Business ethicists Daryl Kane, Richard DeGeorge, Donna Wood, Manny Velasquez, and Patricia Harn-Ed share their greatest concerns.
Fear a climate catastrophe. I mean, I think it's unfolding before our very eyes, and it's really a horror story. And how and what should business ethicists be doing that could be practically useful is a question. Maybe not even just for papers. Maybe we need to have just a kind of open symposium at some point at a conference where people just share their ideas and try.
Pick it or something.
Yeah. Pick it or do something. Yeah.
Global issues, global warming. We have a lot of people talking about global warming, certainly a big problem, but also there's a great deal of confusion. And I think it would be nice to have some more philosophers step in and say, look, let's discuss global warming intelligently, and let's talk about the different approaches and which ones carry more weight, which ones respect people more, which one will have a better influence on the world as a whole, rather than just talk in slogans and have people adopt one view rather than another. I think philosophers have more to contribute to that, and people in business ethics especially, and we're not doing a good job.
A lot of issues and domains left for us to consider. One that's really important to me is climate change and environmental degradation. I remember from the early 1970s that many of the pundits believed that it was not possible to measure or evaluate environmental harms. Of course, the engineers figured it out. So we know a whole lot about how to do that. And there's a lot more to be done. Climate change is going to drown us all eventually, even though the Lord promised he wouldn't send the flood again. But he's not sending it this time, is he?
It's coming anyway.
It's coming anyway.
I'm actually now fairly pessimistic, not of our field, business ethics in particular, but of our future. Because I do think that we have reached the point, we've passed the point of being able to do much about something that I think is going to overtake all of us, and that is, of course, climate change. I think some very tough times lie ahead of us, not just as individuals, but also for our organizations and our business organizations. So I think the big issues that are going to come up in the future are not going to be about what should we do about climate change. I think it's going to be too late to do much about that, but what should companies and organizations start doing to adjust to the, I almost want to say, catastrophes that lie ahead of us. How do you try to protect what's left of the environment? How do you try to protect your employees as disaster after disaster keeps overtaking us, as our forests continue to burn up, as water resources become extremely scarce, as food production declines, as all these different things happening. I think the critical issues are going to be around what should companies be doing to deal with all of these negative results of climate change.
So a topic that comes up relatively frequently, but it's an interesting topic when people raise it, is environmental issues. Partially whether that happens to be compliance with environmental regulation, that's far more popular and certainly an issue that I think people in our profession are touching more and more. A topic that also comes up because it's a huge issue for our world is global warming, and what are the climate change issues and what's a corporation's responsibility for that. So I would say that it's an area that is of interest to practitioners because it's an emerging issue, but as it is right now, for better or worse, it's not something that's falling within the portfolio of a typical ethics and compliance practitioner in a corporation.
The evidence is clear and the results are harrowing. But the impetus for change is greater than ever. These are the facts. Now, what will we do?